And we're live.
Perfect.
Good
Thank
to
you for
have you.
joining us.
Thank you for having me,
Oh
guys.
man, what a
Such a
pleasure.
pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, we have the honor today of having our good friend Marijan, which we go back a good amount of time. But the one thing that I can say is what we were talking about this morning is this man has the best energy, a smile every time we see him. And so I just want to open up with thank you for coming out. How do you keep that energy going? The hard question.
You're starting with the hard ones, huh? No, I think when you drive with passion and you drive with something you want to do, it's just easier, you know. I think we've all have been at those points in life where we did a job we didn't want to do, and it's just you don't want to get up in the morning. So,
Right.
and there's days, you want. Thank you, Michael. There's days, you have to. I guess what I have to do more is sit back and smell the roses. The day you guys showed up to my shop, I had a friend, and he was like, "Do you ever just sit here and look what you created?" And I'm like, "Once in a while." So, but yeah, I think driving with passion, driving with what you love to do is super important. So,
Because every time I get together with you, when I leave you, I'm pumped. You know,
thank
it's
you.
just such a positive energy. You're always smiling. I have never seen you, like droopy or whatever. And I'm sure your days are not 100% perfect, but yet you always have that positive attitude. And it's contagious, you know?
Absolutely.
When we go and spend some time with you and then we walk away, we're pumped. We're thinking driving by your shop every day, early in the morning, seeing you and then going on our merry way kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's all good energy. But I think a lot of who we are comes from where we come from.
Mm.
Our parents, our grandparents, our upbringing. What I think you had mentioned to my dad the other day that it's kind of in your culture to be a business owner or entrepreneur or something like that. Did I get that right? It's
Yeah, I think the biggest thing about I feel like any foreign culture, even we're Croatian. Both my parents are from Croatia.
Mm-hmm.
They came here in the late '80s. I think just hard work. It's just everybody in my family just works really hard at whatever task or whatever duty they have. So that's just something so beautiful. Like even all my cousins, all my relatives, just such super hardworking people. And so when you have that drive or that work ethic, I feel there's nothing you can't do. Just being business owner is just like it's just one aspect to it, but just the hard work. I mean, that's what I feel everybody has, every Croatian has. It's crazy. Like one day I want to take you guys to the community, just like you'll meet even the older people and younger people, like just super successful in their whatever respective fields. And yeah, they're not really losers. I mean, they work hard. So
yeah.
they have a
And they
hard
succeed.
absolute whatever task they do.
Yeah,
It's
it's that.
crazy. Like you've met my brother,
Yeah.
and then just I mean, just all just hard work ethic. But they kind of had no. I mean, I guess the culture in general, like when Croatians came here in the late or early 1900s, they kind of had no choice. They started doing heavy construction in the early 1900s here. It was just always in their blood just to grind and work. So obviously things have changed over generations, but the
Yeah.
hard work has
It's kind
never
of
left.
just yeah,
Yeah,
you're raised with it. You just learn it at an early age.
yeah,
Yeah.
we all went to work, at a young age on weekends or in summers. And I think you kind of learn to appreciate and enjoy it. And I think, yeah, I don't know how you instill that, but I feel like you almost like when you raise a generation, you almost have to like work them up into it.
Right.
So
Now you're in your 20s, right? In your mid
I'm
20s.
30.
You're 30. Okay.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
hit
man. You
30
hit
last
30.
month. I got 6 months till
Oh,
31.
man.
So
Because some people say that our generation,
hmm
I'm 32, is not that hardworking. And,
mm.
this millennial, because we fall under the millennial, I
Yeah.
think, right? Uh, I mean, but there are very hardworking people in that generation. So what do you think it is about our generation that has a bad reputation, man?
You know what? I don't know what it is because I can't really pinpoint it. Because the problem I have is I surrounded myself with all hardworking people.
Yeah.
Like in private school, people I've met, in grade school, almost all of them are hardworking, super dedicated in their craft. There's business owners that generation. High school at Bosco, hardworking guys.
Yeah.
They're all. I mean, it's so funny. Like I told you, like I've never really met a loser from Bosco. Like they're engineer, they're a contractor, they're doing something positive.
You're talking about Don Bosco
Yeah,
Tech.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Bosco Tech. That's right. Go Tigers. So
No, it was great hearing you guys walk down memory lane just before we started the podcast.
Yeah.
And it's just, I'm listening to you guys, and of course I'm much, much older than you guys, but it was such a gratifying conversation to hear.
Yeah.
You guys, I mean, like you said, putting the pieces together for all the years that you've graduated thereafter, and the internet is a big thing of keeping people together, like you had mentioned.
Yeah.
It's just a great conversation. We should have taped that one too.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, the pre-convo,
the
pre-game.
Now, your parents came in the 80s.
Late 80s. Yeah.
Late 80s.
Mhm.
What was their reason to come from Croatia? Because that's, I mean, where is Croatia, bro?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Well, to put it
Eastern
on a
Europe,
map over,
right?
yeah, it's Eastern Europe. So if you look at, you have Italy, then the Adriatic Sea, then you have Croatia next
Okay.
to it. And I mean, it was a communist country. It was war torn, and so people always ask how bad it was, and I literally tell people, imagine you live in America, your parents told you have to jump ship and go somewhere else, so it's pretty bad,
Yeah.
if your parents are telling you got to leave,
Right.
and your family's telling you got to leave. So, that's all I'm really going to say about how bad it was.
Okay.
I know you guys are Cuban immigrants or have family,
Right.
and I feel it's the same way. So that's where I get upset is people, a lot of people complain, and I'm like, you don't realize how good we have it here in many aspects
Right.
compared to the rest of the world. Like just so much opportunity. Like I mentioned to you, I was 18 and I got my DBA.
That's one of the things that I told Mike, we're having him. He's coming over to the podcast. End of discussion. But I didn't get any, resistance from him.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's, tell me that. You got your DBA at the age of 18.
Yeah, 18 and a half. It's been a while. I mean, I know, how's this? I know I've renewed that one, two
That's
times at least.
Tremendous.
Yeah, but I think it got to the point where I just had to do what I had. Because I'll be real, like my family, like we were, I guess, stable enough to have a house and go to private school. But trust me, like there was times where like, as a young age, I was helping to pay the mortgage. So were my brothers. So you got to do what you got to do. But I never looked down upon that. I'm like, cool, we got to do what we got to do to, survive. And I looked at it as an honor instead of like a negative thing. It's like, I mean, I have food and a roof. What am I going to complain about?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so, because I know you asked me about the business owner stuff. I don't know, I just feel it kind of happened naturally. I'm not going to say I'm perfect. And it wasn't, what you see now is not what it was,
Of course not.
It was more or less like working out of the garage and, working out of a truck. And,
Now,
but yeah.
forgive me for interrupting you, but you said that you picked Don Bosco Tech over other schools because you had a calling for technology, right?
Yeah. And building things. I was always good at building, fixing things, and, I walked into construction at Bosco. I fell in love. I was like, this is where I got to be, all the shops are great, they had power and transportation,
Yeah.
They had, whatever they called machine shop. But I mean, just what an amazing program. And the Salesians are amazing people. Just a solid school, so many talented teachers.
So you knew from an early age that you wanted to do something in technology.
Or build, yeah, more or less building, like building
Build.
stuff. Build, absolutely, build. The whole technology thing really didn't happen until I hit probably beginning of college, because it was associating all that, but definitely build from a young age. Oh yeah, Legos, building stuff, building decks for my dad.
That's very
Yeah.
interesting because we put out a podcast and we've gotten some comments where, the younger generation is struggling to figure out what they want to do. And it's not just a younger generation. I think every generation, everybody, you don't grow up and, you're not 5 years old and say, okay, I want to be an astronaut. Well, all the kids want to be astronauts, right? But I mean, I ended up in the insurance business and in the investment of real estate. had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my love was towards the health industry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I had no idea I would end up in something like this.
Mm-hmm.
It was the root of life.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
but you, at an early age, had something for building and so forth, and then that guided you, right?
Absolutely, but I mean, I could definitely dive into it. Before Bosco and during Bosco, I wanted to be a contractor. That was like my lifelong dream. Build things. Um, During high school, I fell in love with audio, video, and lighting. My best friend Corey, he went to Bosco. He's into that. I started mixing audio at St. Louis. I think I was 15 and a half. I was a sophomore in high school. They literally hired me, put me on payroll, and mix audio on Sunday.
Wow.
And it was cool. I mean, but I just, like you said, life's journey, and same thing. I feel all these journeys, I started doing AVL, audio visual lighting. So I had my company going on. Well, it was a DBA, but I had it going on, but I was still working for other people. You had to.
Sure.
You would just get subbed out or be a technician. But then, let's fast forward. So I went to college. I did that throughout college. And it was so funny because I remember I got my degree in civil engineering. I was telling my professor, I make more than an engineer, so I'm not going to get an internship.
What engineering?
Civil.
Civil engineering.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think I kind of lived what's so crazy? It's I'm pretty open with most people, but in college, I had great colleagues. I would not necessarily friends, but really great colleagues. I wouldn't really tell them what I was doing because they would on Monday. Some of them would be like, you're really exhausted for taking the weekend off. I was like, well, you don't tell them about it. I was working like Thursday night to like Sunday night, and then now I'm here.
Wow.
So I loved it though. Like I wasn't gonna let school get in the way, and vice versa. So I just made it work. But yeah.
So your degree is in something that is different than what you're doing now. You're doing audiovisual lighting
and IT, yeah,
and IT, and your degree's in civil engineering.
Yeah.
Do you think that, like, if you could redo that, would you say you would do it again that way, or would you go completely into the audiovisual business?
It's so hard to say because in college I made a lot of connections. So I think with engineering in any aspect, you learn general engineering. So, you have math, calculus, physics. There's a lot of base level classes. And so I can't replace that because now when I talk to manufacturers and I could talk to them on a different intellectual level, it's hard for me to say would I ever do it again. Because because we have to use like when we hang like network racks or any equipment, we use like anchor bolts. But now I know what the stupid numbers on the back of the thing mean. Like if it wasn't for engineering, I would just be like, oh, this fits, it works. But now I'm like, oh, okay, this is the shear strength. This is again
Excellent.
It's like how can I replace that? I wouldn't have learned it on my own. So
So no regrets.
no, there's some, but no. In general, no. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have my college advice. Like, what I told my brother is get in and get out. That's my only advice to people. Get in and get out. Don't linger there. And if you want to do, and if you don't know what you want to do, just get a business degree. I mean, honestly, like, because it was so funny. We had a lot of people in engineering that would drop out and get business degrees.
Sure.
And I would see them on campus. They'd be so happy. They'd be like, dude, do it. It's so easy. It's nothing like, because I don't think people really understand when you do STEM, science, technology, engineering, math. You do biology, chemistry, engineering. Like, it's like, even though we went to Bosco, that wasn't enough. It was just a different, like that was a mountain to climb. That's probably that's a life experience. Like I kind of not tried to forget about, but it's something I don't want to go. I would never go back. I wouldn't want to relive that experience. I'll say that.
Gotcha.
I want to go back to Bosco. I want to go back to Boy Scouts. There's a lot of things I want to go back to, but engineering school, no, I don't want to go back.
Well, I think it's safe to say that those experiences have made you the man that you are today.
Absolutely.
And so when did you first open, because you said you jumped around a little bit and you worked for other people. When did you first open the doors to your own business? Do you remember that moment, that date, that year?
I was, when it really happened was, I was an intern at Bank of the West. and that was my first and only ever corporate job. And you know, a family friend got it. She's an amazing individual, but I'm happy. I learned what I didn't want to do in life. So I would have been about 20 years old. Yeah, basically self-employed.
20 years old.
Yeah, self-employed.
When you opened your own business.
Yeah, yeah, self-employed from then. Yeah.
You beat me by 6 years. Wow.
I wouldn't call it beat. I mean, I mean.
Oh no, you did.
I mean, I was scraping by, but basically, you know, like I had to find my own work. Like it's not like I had a job where I clocked in, clocked out. Like it would like it was on me if I didn't show up. But I loved what I was doing, so so I was doing all sorts of things, you know, like.
So 10 years ago, more or less.
Yeah, 10. Yeah.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I opened the doors to my first business, I only had like, I think it was either $272 or less than $600 in my bank account.
You beat me on that.
It wasn't. Yeah, did I? It wasn't enough money to pay the rent for the following month.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough. I think it was $272. So I beat you on that. So you had less than $272.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing is, I think we spoke about this. It's an important topic to touch on. Was like I had nothing to lose. I don't have a family. I don't have kids. Live at home. Yeah. So it's like I'm not going to be homeless, you know.
Yeah, but not everybody thinks that way.
I know.
Some people have nothing to lose, but they look at it as I need some security, some safety, some. So you know, it's a tougher route when you're carving your own way, which is what you did. But when you love it, you work those extra hours. And I'm interested in hearing from your perspective some of the difficulties, because we glorify to a certain extent like business, having your own business, you know, doing your own passion and loving what you do, and it's all true. But the other day, because you know, we had we like investing in real estate, we're big on that. But there was a huge rains, and there was cracks on the ceiling the other day of a property, and we had to get it fixed and all that. So
refix it.
So it's like the reality is it's not all beautiful, right? So what would you say, like in your business or in your journey, has been some of the difficulties that you just had to overcome, but the real difficulties?
Yeah, you know, I just didn't know how to sell my product, and I really didn't understand marketing. And I think for me, I looked at everything I was a good technician, on time, professional, I did quality work, but in reality, that wasn't enough. Like I had to learn how to pitch my product.
Interesting.
And it wasn't until COVID that the light bulb really flicked.
So we're talking 2020.
Yeah, so we're talking hold on, so we're in 2022, so I was 27, 28 at the time when COVID kicked off. So, so there was like from 20 to 27, because I'm in college, and I had enough. So I was in college for 7 years. Yes, because I graduated college in 2018. Yes. So, all right. So now we're doing math. So
the engineer's doing math.
Yeah. Okay.
So the timeline. It's important.
I should have. Yeah, it is important. So I was in college for 7 years studying engineering. Like I didn't need much in college. So like whatever projects I found, it was cool enough. It was good enough. It was cool. I know. I did a light flex. I know my 7th year, it was I couldn't get any more loans. I just paid it out of pocket at Cal State Fullerton. So that was kind of cool. I was like, okay, I'm doing life. You know, I literally told the school, I'm like, how much is there? Or just send me the bill. I'll just pay it so I can get out of here. So that was kind of cool. So the progression, you know, of that. But yeah, so it wasn't until COVID that the light bulb really clicked on like, how do I market myself? But I think there was a little luck in there too. You know, it wasn't, you know, I have an awesome reel now. I have an awesome portfolio now. Resume is amazing. So I think for a long time, I had to show to clients, like, I can do the work. Now I don't have to show them anymore. I'm like, cool, this is the work we've done. And It's almost like, not take it or leave it, but, you know, this is what we do. And this is what we're looking. This is the type of client we're looking for. Because people call me, it's funny, people call me for small projects or residential projects. And the money, and you look at it from, a lot of people look at it from the dollar point of view. Yeah. And then I just look at it like, I don't want to waste my time with this. Because there's bigger things I want to tackle.
Yeah.
So I think that's where, because it's funny, I meet a lot of older contractors who have, like, I guess AV or IT businesses. And they're like, dude, how'd you get into the commercial space? And I'm like, I don't know. I just was doing good work. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
So
It wasn't like an intentional that you went after commercial. It just kind of
It
organically.
kind of organically. And same thing with the IT stuff, like, and permanent installation for AV products. Like, the phone doesn't stop ringing. It's crazy. I feel for the live event and the show stuff. Like, I'm always constantly knocking on doors, which is fine. It makes it exciting, but it's crazy. Like, the demand for, and when I was doing IT, so over COVID, because the event industry took a dump, I teamed up with an IT company, and just the demand was there. Like, literally, like, every day we had different. We were working at AECOM, Nestle, Red Bull. Where else do we work? Fortune 500 companies, and maybe not AECOM, but they're up there. I mean, they're $1 billion companies, and every day was something. And maybe you mentioned about our younger generation. I will say honestly, like, I don't see young guys doing the permanent install AVIT stuff. They're always like guys in the late 40s,
Yeah.
late 50s.
Yeah.
So, I think with that, when an opportunity, like, I told my team, if opportunities present themselves, I'm not going to say no. We're going to take them, because that'd just be foolish. I mean, these are big contracts. We're not going to say no to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it just be full. And the thing is, we deliver every single one. Like, we just knock everything out of the park we do. It's crazy.
Well,
it's
that's how you
interesting.
get your reputation.
Thank
And
you.
that's how you get your
Absolutely.
referrals.
Yeah.
Thank you. But yeah, and recalls. Like, people call us back.
Of course.
When people call us back, they don't call us because they had a problem on our project. They call us because, like, we need more work done. So,
Exactly.
So yeah, but I think it's cool because I think all the, like, engineering, doing audio, video, like, I've worked Oscars, Vanity Fair, worked a bunch of amazing corporate projects.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You worked the Oscars and Vanity Fair. That's a big deal.
It is. I was a video technician on that. That was March 2020. No, sorry, February 2020. Literally
Right
a month
before.
before. Yeah. And what was wild about that was, after that, like, I met so many amazing people. Like, my phone was just blowing up. It was like I was stacking my count. I never had that before, and I knew my time was going to come. I was like, I'm just going to keep pressing. Dude, it was just like, it wasn't a Ravel project, but it was, as a technician, I was on it. But dude, it was awesome. But then COVID hit, and then it just all went down.
How is it working for, like, the Oscars or Vanity Fair? Because those are such huge names.
Yeah.
And you worked for Lacoste, I think. You
Yeah, we did
something.
show for Lacoste. You know what the thing is, when I first got into AV lighting IT, I fell in love with the technology first, the equipment. That's stuff I love. The brand, the people, super sweet people, actors. They're really nice. It's just I don't go for that.
That's not
No. I'm here for one job only.
Got you.
Tiffany's flew us out to New York for a project on top of the Rockefeller, and that was
Man.
yeah. It's just awesome when you get a call, but you look at the other vendors, and we just knock everything out of the park, And I asked them, why did you fly us out? And they were like, we need just someone we could trust. They just did. They didn't have any. And it's great. We're in Manhattan. And they had nobody on their calendar or on their agenda.
You tell me that, and I believe every word you say.
Yeah, I have photos to prove it.
Yeah.
No, but what I'm saying is, they can't find someone in New York City that can do the same thing that you're doing, that they can trust.
Yeah.
They call somebody in the West Coast.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. And it's very true, because, for example, I work with a team of people, and it's about relationships also. Extremely important. Because I called this guy because of the issues we had with that ceiling. And I'm planning a big move for one of my businesses. And this guy came the day after I called him.
Wow.
To
You
take
count
care
on
of that issue for me.
Yeah.
He's extremely busy. He made a couple of calls. He put a couple of things to the side to help me out, because we've been working together for a long time. And so when you tell me, you flew out to New York to do that on top of the Rockefeller building, right? And then they couldn't find somebody in New York to do what you're doing?
Yeah.
They
That's
couldn't
amazing.
find. There's only one Marijan.
That's right.
Hey,
That's
am I
right.
pronouncing the name correct?
Marijan.
Marijan.
In
So
Croatian,
there's no J.
Yeah, in Croatian it's Marijan. I go by Marijan for
Okay.
all the Americans, and then my boys, they call me Mar. So the boys, they gave me a nickname.
So the J silent.
yeah,
Marijan.
Marijan. Yeah.
Marijan. Got it.
Cool.
Yeah, it's I mean, I don't, you know what? We were just the right team for the right job. And I tell her, and it's just so, I mean, I will never spoil the brand. Like, we're not going to spoil the brand or do shoddy work or anything. Like, we're just not going to do that. I can't. It's just not in my system to
Sure.
do like bad work, you
It's
know?
not in your DNA.
It's not. I can't. Like, I just couldn't leave a system or a project just, half-assed, if you will.
Sure.
So, yeah, but it's also like you said, it's all who you know. Same thing. I've seen New York companies come out to LA, so
Sure.
it's like it's a big thing. It's the hard work ethic, it's a trust issue.
Yeah.
So I mean, you have to trust. And I love what you said about having a relationship is super important because it goes for us a long way. Like if I have a producer tell me, oh, we need a couple extra lights or a couple extra cables, or even for an IT project, they want an extra line ran. Dude, if we're already doing like 40, 50 grand, I'm not going to charge you. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's just business. Like,
Yeah.
for
It
relation-
almost looks, what would be the word? Like,
Petty?
if you're, yeah, it
Yeah,
almost
no.
looks like,
And there's so many petty companies. Literally, and so people ask me how I get the projects I get, and then they tell me about the projects. Oh yeah, I line item everything. I do this. I'm like, I just charge a price to finish the project. And so I look at it from a different point of view. You know, and that's where I think some business owners look at me weird because it's not. I'm doing what I think is right, but I feel some business owners are really profitability. They want to see profit at every level. I feel it doesn't float their boat, but then they don't have the clients I have. So
There
and then
is-
they ask why I don't. I'm like, well, because I don't do business like that. So
well, I find it interesting that it seems around the same time that pandemic hit, you were forced to learn to sell,
yes,
that your business takes off.
yes,
We love sales. We're in salesmen, all of us, right? And everybody at the end of the day. But in engineering, a lot of times, I don't think there's any business sales courses, right? I mean,
No,
in engineering,
no.
it's numbers and
Well,
so
pure core sciences,
yeah. So that's something that I think you're bringing to the table, also unique, that you are a people person
Yes.
in a field of engineering and technical work, right? Because there are some computer people that they can do the computer, but the social skills are not at the highest level, and they have to develop that. So let's say for the people who are in engineering and want to develop those skills of becoming a people person, what do you think would be a good way for them to develop that?
I think I know so many engineering people. They're all super talented, but I think and technical people, I think you have to practice, and it takes years.
Yeah.
Like just like in business, I feel to pitch your product, it's not a 30-day course. I feel it takes years to refine it.
Yeah.
I know both of you guys have your businesses, and I don't think, I think when you hire somebody on, I mean, I don't think they could pitch. It's hard to find a good sales rep. I don't think they could pitch like what you offer. It's like it takes years. So I think that's the big issue. Like, and the light bulb clicks eventually. But same thing, with what I did, and people, I've met other, I guess, business owners, if you will, like, oh, I tried it for 90 days. And I'm like, dude, that's like, you need more than that. Like, they're like, oh, then, you meet the 6 month and the 1 year people. I'm like, no, like do 5 to 10 years. You'll really learn a lot.
Yeah.
It's just that's not even enough. Like 90 days, what do you do in 90 days? Like nothing, But I think intentional relationships are super important, especially the projects I have. So what I started doing was like, over Christmas, all clients, potential clients, they get gifts. I take people out to dinner or coffee. It's just all intentional relationship because I feel there's only, like, it's funny, example, Yelp calls me, like, we want to market your business. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. Like, we're not for you. I'm like, why do you even call? You're just wasting my time. Like, I'm not a $5 hot dog, like, you have your own, market.
Niche. Yeah.
Absolutely. And we're not that,
Well, I think, if I may say, I think one of the things that impressed me about you a lot, okay, you have a tremendous positive attitude. The energy is off the charts, and I love it. Because I run as fast as I possibly can in the opposite direction from people that are negative. In the older days, I would try to, and it's not that I don't want to help, but it takes a tremendous amount of energy for someone that really doesn't want to be helped. and you have to identify that, or they'll drag you into a hole. But for the recipe that you have, I think that one of the most important things, positive attitude, but you're very genuine. And I've learned to spot that. I can tell when someone has like a hidden agenda, but with you, you put it all on the table. You're very genuine and transparent in even your everyday conversations with us, very genuine. And I think that if there was something that we could tell someone out there that's thinking about opening a business, be genuine, be transparent, just like you are. It's a breath of fresh air, man.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of contractors and I get a lot of bids, and the bids sometimes are way off.
Mm-hmm.
And they know it. They give a lower bid to get the job, hook you up, and then now you're both into like a bad marriage kind of thing.
You're tied in a contract.
Yeah. So genuineness, I think that's one of the key things. What do you think? I mean,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
No,
yeah,
thank
people
you.
can sense it.
yeah.
People can sense it.
I think so too. But thank you guys for that compliment. But yeah, I think they can too. I mean, I just wish people, I'm all about sustainability, having a sustainable business. And I just, like you said, I'm just an open book. I'm like, the client, at the end of the day, I just present it in such a way like, this is what we charge, this is what we do, this is a portfolio, this is the website. These are basically reference clients. Like, it's not take it or leave it, but it's literally like, you have everything here. So show me somebody else with a deck like that.
You're
so.
confident in what you provide,
absolutely.
what you've done.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you'll deliver. You know that you'll do whatever it takes to make sure that, to a certain degree, they're happy, right? Like,
Absolutely.
you're not going to let them take advantage of you.
Yep.
And that's another thing. Maybe some people, they don't realize they're being taken advantage of. Like, you know when to put your foot down.
Absolutely.
And I think that's important.
Yeah, absolutely. Super important. And yeah, I wish more people did business like that, just genuine. Don't sugarcoat it. Same thing when I deal with vendors. It's the same thing. Like, I have certain sales reps. I'm like, dude, just don't sugarcoat it for me. Just tell me how it is. Because all this fluff just wastes time. What does time equal? Money. Because I could be doing something else. Same thing with clients. I go to a site survey, they'll send me a design deck or whatever. I'll go. I mean, in a kind way. Let's hurry it up. Let's go over your needs. Great. Here's a proposal, and let's chat about it. It's almost like the very Gary Vee approach, because I love what he said. Like, like if a meeting's 5 minutes, it's 5 minutes. If a meeting's 5 hours, it's 5 hours. Like, let's knock out these major pieces. And Elon's the same way. He's like, if I have somebody sitting in a meeting and that meeting's not productive, I want them to leave, because you're being rude by sitting in a meeting you have nothing to give to.
Absolutely.
There's something else you could be doing. And so it's like, and that's the thing also, like, and I have such a good team, like I pay them for all the hours they work, but like if somebody comes up to me, like I hate this whole, like, I just can't operate on like this structured like 9 to 5, because like it doesn't mean you got anything done, like I don't care if you worked 8 to 2, put down 8 hours, you got 8 hours work done in 6, like I don't care, like we're here for a goal. So basically this is cool. All our projects are essentially goals. Like, this project got to get done. I don't care when, how, or what material you use, what items we use. It's all top quality. So I don't care that way. I don't care how many resources you put into it. Just get it over with on the highest level possible.
Right.
You're rewarding for efficiency.
Absolutely.
As opposed to like, it took you 10 hours, 8 hours.
Yeah, why sit there all day? So Lacoste was a good example. We had to show up at 3:30 a.m. at Sunset Tower Hotel. We set up till 8 a.m. I had a final meeting. I had a hotel for all the guys next door. They all went and took naps. I was like, cool, take naps. If you could be on your phone, if I text you, great. But if not, don't worry. They all got paid for like a 24-hour shift. They were getting double overtime. I didn't care. I needed them there, but at the same time, they go nap, do whatever. And then we didn't start the cleanup for that event. I needed them all back at 9:30 p.m. So from like, I guess 9 a.m., we had to come back around noon. So, but that's the thing. Like, the job got to get done. Like, the thing is also, I don't want to hold your hand. I'm really tired of that. Same thing you talked about with friends with negative energy. Like, There's friends I've let go of over the years. It's just I don't have the energy to give you anymore. It's like it's hard. And I think you just at first you feel rude for doing that, but then eventually you're like, okay, this was better for my mental health, because like I can't anymore. I tell you what to do, you don't do it. So yeah, I hate hand holding. It's like, and I hate when I always present people with ideas, and I don't. Okay, with presenting ideas, you won't believe how many potential or future business owners I literally have lunch with, and they ask me like, do you have any advice? And I literally tell them, I lay it all out. I'm like, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to explain your whole business career in like 3 paragraphs. And I don't know if I scare them, because like most of them don't even start a business or most of them, I guess try and quit or whatever. But I think the business recipe is the same for most businesses, but that's such a broad way of looking at it. That's such a, there's so many minutia details,
Well,
So-
I find it interesting that you say it's almost, you don't want to be rude, right? Because we're, especially you're raised a certain way, you go to, Catholic school,
Yeah.
you raise, or you don't want to be rude to people. But I do remember in sales, it was a click for me when I realized somebody was wasting my time. Because I could be helping somebody else is the way I would look at it. So if this person, this customer, let's say, is actually just wasting your time, just lounging, sitting around, if you don't cut that conversation and move on, you're not being rude by doing that. You can do it in a polite way. I'm so sorry, I have to get going, whatever. You don't have to be rude. But they're being rude by infringing on your time, which is a finite. We don't know, like in when the curtain gets when it gets pulled. And so you have to become better at, not you, but all of us, and I myself at that time, I had to become better at cutting certain interactions and say, hey, I gotta move on, because you only have so many hours in a day. And I wanted to ask you, how do you manage everything? Because you're doing a lot. You're doing your own sales, you're doing your own install, how do you manage all of that and your people? What drugs are you taking?
Where's coffee?
Coffee.
I go Starbucks twice a day. That's the key. I do. I mean, it's
Caffeine.
I mean, you know what I do? Like I tell, like, okay, I will whatever the client sees, I do it close to perfection as possible. The back end, however, it could look like a zoo or a jungle gym
Right.
or a roller coaster. It's like
a hurricane went through it.
so Oh yeah, absolutely. If you look at
Cables all over the place.
I mean, you've been inside the warehouse. It's organized, but like every project after, like we need to take a couple of days and like, all right, guys, like let's reorganize everything.
Well, your warehouse looks very organized.
Thank you, I
It
appreciate
does,
that.
it does.
Thank you. But there is we don't let it go. But when you're in between like 2 or 3 projects, it's just like
Havoc.
Yeah, it is. Oh, absolutely. It's controlled chaos. That's how we call it.
Control. I like that.
Yeah, controlled chaos. My bad, Michael. How do I do it? So I'm going to tell you what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a better way to describe my problems. So I'm at the point where we're trying to automate everything.
Okay.
I'm trying to, so I think automation is super key. I think you have to be at that point of business where you can afford it, but we're trying to basically like automate invoicing, automate payments, where I just want I basically want the software to literally tell me approve, and I just click approve. So we're trying to get to that point where everything's just automated.
Got it.
So we're doing our best to get to that goal, because that's just going to alleviate. I guess what you can do, and I think Kevin O'Leary said it. He's one of the Shark Tank guys. Like obviously, like
Mr. Wonderful.
Mr. Wonderful. Yeah. I mean, I'm not. I'm not a fan of. I just like good quotes from people. Example: Pope Benedict. He passed away today. He had one of my favorite quotes.
Oh, wow.
It was, "The world offers you comfort, but you are not made for comfort. You were made for greatness." And I just love that quote, because I think it applies to young people, older people, mid-age people. It's a comfortable world, but you were designed,
The world offers you comfort.
but you were not designed for comfort. You were designed for greatness.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a great quote.
Yeah.
I love it. And Oh, great man, great quote. But anywho, going back to it, so Kevin Leary said obviously when you get to that point you can hire a secretary, but like why hire someone just to do minutia work? Why not automate? So basically, what I'm trying to do is trying to automate everything, and so it does. I think the problem is it's like you do everything solo, you have a team, and then you try to automate. It's almost like you're kind of starting that all the business, whatever you call business paperwork. It feels like you're starting over again. But I know doing it over again, like now for the next like 20, 30 years, like I don't have to worry about it. It's all going to be in a digital database. It's all going to be recorded. And literally it's just going to be an automation process where essentially like I'll make an invoice, client approves it. I could send out POs to whatever vendor I work with. They literally come back at me. I review pricing, hit approve on everything. Great. And then everything just automatically gets shipped to our warehouse. We put that on a truck or whatever and go do a project. So I'm trying to, because that's going to eliminate a lot of steps. Because by automating, all the back end, like accounting's done, payroll's done, taxes are done. Like it's just like this whole, it takes time to build that, but all these things get just like knocked down. So you literally, I can't wait to do 30 tasks with a click of a button, but it's going to take us, we're going to start in January. It'll take us probably 3 to 6 months, but it's going to be worth every ounce of effort. We'll be working double time on that, but it's worth it.
Yes.
So for those of us in our audience that don't know what POs are, what is a PO?
Basically a part order number, you send, and again, that probably isn't even the right term, just like everybody calls a PO. But basically you send a P, like example, like say you need to buy 2x4s at Home Depot and you're a contractor, you send a PO to your rep at Home Depot.
Got it.
And then they you send a PO, and then the Home Depot rep sends you back, they're going to send you, anyways, they send you a form. I'm not going to say it's an invoice. Technically it's an invoice or whatever. They send it back to you. You just click approve. And that's what's cool. You automate your bank account in there. So you literally just, because people don't realize how much time you waste in all that.
Whoa.
And so the thing is, I literally tell my guys, like, we make money being in the field.
Yes.
So being in the field, being in a project, that's like, of course, marketing, all this other stuff, super important. But like, do I get upset when I have to send someone in traffic, an hour and a half in traffic to Anaheim, go pick up a $10 part and come back? Like that part did not cost $10.
No.
That part cost like
800.
Yeah, or
$1,000.
yeah, 250. Yeah, 250, 300 including gas. I didn't even include mileage on vehicle. Yeah.
Yeah. So the timing.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, time is everything. Yeah,
So see, that's very important. You have a vision because by doing this, and actually we're kind of on the same field. In January, I'm automating a lot of stuff also for what I'm, because you're able to, this is going to allow you to scale your business. Because, for example, we have like 4 or 5 projects going on right now. And nothing is perfect in life. Nothing. You got hiccups all over the place that force you to pay attention to this hiccup and takes you out of your path, right? And so the less amount of hiccups that you're able to vision or see coming up, they get done through automation. Once you have it set up like this, like you said, approve. That's very interesting because it's going to allow you to maximize your time to what you are best at. Okay, and you're able to scale it because
that's a big one.
It's
the
a big
scaling.
one,
and it's probably challenging to like you said, it's going to be a little bit for the next 3 months difficult or whatever, especially if you're on the field guy and now you got to do more operations stuff or tedious stuff. For me that's brutal. Because I like being out and about talking, but when I have to sit down behind a computer, right? But it's, in the long run, it's going to end up doing huge things for your business. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's great, man.
That's exciting. So automate, so do your best. And the thing is also so I think when I was starting off, like none of this, all this stuff was like non-existent, and I feel business owners starting off because especially if a lot of time, like you could do it cheaply too. Like there's ways, to do it. So I mean, I don't think it's just for, because I think what's that big thing called like drop shipping, not drop shipping, e-commerce or whatever.
Yeah.
A lot of those guys are full automation where like You know, they have a system going. All they're doing is just hitting approve, approve, and that's what people don't realize. Like, I don't think people really. Again, you know, it's so funny. People like when you get in this business, it has to intrigue you.
Sure.
Like if you don't like, it's like real estate or like even stocks. Like, it doesn't intrigue me. My brother does insurance. You guys do insurance. I couldn't. It just doesn't interest me. I could sell IT or AV equipment all day. I'll have my feet kicked up here and just like, what do you want to talk about? I'll be here all day talking about the latest products. But like, you know, that's what's so funny. It's like, I think the field has to interest you.
Sure.
It has to. It has to drive you. Like, you have to be willing to like research on your own or like, and enjoy the research. You want to learn more. You're like craving this information.
100%.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people aren't in something that they do enjoy. And that's one thing we were talking about in the previous one. We were like, it was about passion versus survival, right? Like, for example, when my grandparents came with my dad from Cuba, it's survival. You're not looking for something you're passionate about necessarily.
Yeah.
You're just trying to put food on the table. Same with your parents, right?
Yeah.
Survival initially. And then I think that if we can find a way to get into something that we have purpose doing and are passionate about, that allows us to explode, right? Like, for example, the Portos, we were talking about Portos the other day. They were bakers, but they're not just bakers. They're passionate about what they do. It's the only way that they can create the empire that they've created. You can't be doing that if you're not passionate. And then they were able to instill it in the children and the grandchildren.
In-N-Out's the same way.
In-N-Out, that's right.
It's just business.
Gavinia coffee is another
Oh,
one.
really?
Yes.
Yeah. It's just something. It's just something beautiful, you know. It's to scale like that. And so long term wise, I don't know, because I mean I've had such major changes the last 2 years. You know, that's why my big thing hasn't been like 5-10 year goals. It's like been more immediate goals. Like, what do I want to see in 3 months? What do I want to see in 6 months? Because I think it's more realistic to achieve it. You know, because if you told me if I had to go to goals 5 years ago, we would nowhere near be like where we're at. Like this today would be completely skewed from 5 years ago. So that's why I'm all about not short term goals, but immediate goals. You know, what do you want to see?
That's good, because a lot of people that I talk to, they have this plan for 3, 5, 7, 10 years.
Yeah.
And
it gets derailed.
More immediate goals.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because it gets derailed. Yeah. I don't know where we're going to be in 2 years. I know where we're going to be in 3 months. I know where we're going to be in 6 months.
I like that.
So you just I know for this year where we kind of have to sit or where we're going to sit, but the year after, I don't know.
What's your take, Marian, on work-life balance?
Oh man,
because man, we've been talking about work a lot.
the life part can be non-existent for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, so this is where I'm at. I want is more reflection time, more prayer time, and more workout time. I did okay this year on the workout side. So I'm trying to get a better balance. But when you're starting or you're grinding, that doesn't exist. I mean, I know people do it, but I mean it's hard. I mean, say you get to the office at 7 or something. It depends. I get in the office anywhere between 6 a.m. and 9 p.m. I'm sorry, 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. And example was I was in the office yesterday. at 7 a.m. By the time I picked up parts and everything with my tech, I got to downtown LA 9:30, 9:45. We worked in downtown LA till 6:30, 7 p.m. He went home. I went back in the warehouse to finish some things. And mind you, this is, and then
This is Friday night?
It was last night. I got out of the warehouse 8:45 p.m. So I've literally been, but you get used to it. It's been a 12-hour day for me. And so I think that's, but I enjoyed every bit of it. Of course, yesterday, and there was a couple points where I got frustrated. Of course, everybody gets frustrated, but you don't, literally, I get lunch for the guys, and they were like, hey, it's in 2 hours past lunch, and I'm like, I get that a lot, where it's I don't have enough hours in the day.
Sure.
Especially for shows like Lacoste and Tiffany's. All my big shows, literally, there's never enough time. Like never enough.
See, that's the thing. You're crunched for time, so the stress level, I imagine.
Oh,
Is,
it goes up. Oh yeah. I mean, my team loves me, and I'll bring them here. You can interview them, and I'll be somewhere else. But it's like there's they'll all say the same thing. I could be a pain in the ass, but
Yeah.
but yeah, you get crunched for time. It's like
yeah.
there's not enough. Sometimes there's not enough hours in the day. It's hard, man. So I feel like I'm still building, and I feel like I there's things I want to add. But that's why I'm automating, because by automating, that's going to give me back anywhere from an hour to 4 hours a day. That's workout and relaxed time. So that's why I'm doing it.
Fantastic.
So yeah. So then I'm trying to get the guys more efficient on the field and on projects. Because I'm all for rewarding efficiency. I tell them literally every project.
Efficiency.
You're getting your 8 hours. If you finish in 2, wow, you did something really amazing. So, because at the end of the day, I did a project a certain way. It's the same amount of money.
Correct.
I don't care. That's the whole point of my client. And that's what people. And then I always hear contractors. Clients, get upset. You tell them it takes 3 weeks. You did it in 2, and they're like, "Oh, you charge me a lot." I'm like, "Bro, I charge for the project, and I just get in and get out." So that's so I just want to say this. I have high expectations. My team has high expectations. You know what? I got high expectations for my client. So that's what's so crazy about us is, again, because I don't have kids and a wife. I live at home. I'll be honest with you. So, dude, literally, if we don't want to work with a client, we'll literally tell them no. It's so amazing.
Correct.
It's so amazing to just be. I've literally told people no, jaws hit the ground. I'm like, I don't want to work with you. Done.
Same here. I do it in the most cordial of ways.
Yeah.
But when you're beginning and you're grinding, like you said, you may not have the
Luxury.
luxury
Yeah.
to do that. And so you take on people that potentially will give you a lot of headaches. Like there's an old saying out there that 10% of your customers are going to give you 90% of your headaches. If you were able to identify those 10% of customers in the front door, then you can tell them, you know what, we're not the company for you. Please go somewhere else. And I've done that with people that have been disrespectful with my staff. Because see, I'm hearing you, and key points to go out there for young people that want to start a business. You're going to have to work very hard, people. You're going to have to grind it. There's no such thing as potentially balance between life and work in the beginning. This man is a testament to it. He's bringing quality of work. And if you're looking, like they say, for value, then maybe we're not the company for you. Efficiency, scaling, control chaos. I mean, you've got a portfolio that you've built up now, so you've got the reputation, but you got to get there.
Yeah.
It took you 10 years to get to the point where you are right now.
Yeah.
And you also said, because I have the privilege of taking notes, and these are the key points if we're going to close at any point, but
No, he said he has all day.
I have all day. Yeah.
Oh,
I can be
okay,
with you
well,
guys all
No,
day.
I'm kidding.
keep going.
Yeah.
But, go ahead and finish.
No, but I mean, you talk a lot about your staff. I'll tell you, I would be absolutely nothing without my staff.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And every time I throw an office meeting, I always, always, always say, we're all in this boat together. And if this boat sinks, we're all going down. I'm going down with you, It's not like I'm in a different boat. We're all in this together.
Right.
And so, I was going to ask you, how do you create the atmosphere for your staff? But I can see it already, just by being truthful, genuine, you explained it. And so, tremendous part of your success.
You seem like, let's say, strict but fair.
Oh, super.
When you say no to people, that's something that you mentioned. You say, I have no problem saying no. You're saying yes to other opportunities. When you say yes to something that you don't want to do or whatever, you're saying no to potentially other opportunities. And that's what maybe initially some people don't realize. I have a question for you, Mario.
Please.
We can close soon, you know, and we appreciate you coming out. And we're gonna link you on the description and
Love it.
follow our friend
Love
and
it.
check him
Yeah.
out.
The Don Bosco family
Yes.
follow up.
You have this passion and this drive, and what is it that drives Marian right now?
You too deep, man. Too deep early in the morning.
I don't know, just get to do what I want, you know, to just do it on my own accord, you know, my own, I get to do it my way. And I think that's just so cool. You got to do something you love your way.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Very cool. We can close there if you like.
We can wrap it
Perfect.
up there, man. Thank
Gentlemen,
you for coming.
thank
out,
you.
Mike.
Thank you so
It's a
much.
pleasure.
No.
I'll leave you with one little task
Yes,
to click that
yes.
button, please.